Hey people, in this tutorial I'd like to briefly demonstrate how to make this publication quality figure of a carbon nanotube covalently functionalized with a linker which is attached to a porphyrin. Now before I start, I'd like to mention that I use a custom style sheet to make my figure really stand out and look a lot better than if I was to use the default style sheet that comes with ChemDraw. If you were to use the default style sheets, this is what your figure would end up looking like. I will attach the style sheet that I use for ChemDraw and the instructions on how to use it in the description of this video. And here I also highlight the shortcuts I will use in making this figure. So the first thing we do is we go into templates, we go down to nanotubes, and we pick the nanotube we want. In this case I will use the 5.5 armchair nanotube. So we select it, we click anywhere. Let me just remove this. So now that you have your nanotube, you will notice that it looks a bit flat, especially compared to the one I show here. So ChemDraw version 20 introduced a new feature called 3D cleanup. So you can use this feature to turn our flat molecule into a 3D version of it. So as you can see, I can now rotate the nanotube as if it were a 3D molecule. So now I will attach a linker as you would normally. I use the number 2 key to create a double bond wherever I hover my mouse. You can use the number 1 key to turn it into a single bond. Oops. Okay, now that we have our linker, we need the porphyrin. So to do this, what I use is I press Ctrl-Shift-N and I type the name of the molecule I want to generate a 3D structure of. Sorry, a 2D structure. So in this case, we want a porphyrin. So now we can attach our porphyrin to our linker, and how I do this is I delete this and I drag this bond here and this bond here. Let me just remove this. Now this looks a little bit messy, so what I will do is I will select it and I will press Ctrl-Shift-K, which will clean it up. I also think it's a little bit big, so I'm gonna scale the structure down a little bit. I think this looks good. So now we want to collate our porphyrin to zinc. So how I do this, I employ a little trick where I connect all these 4 nitrogen atoms in the center. I hold Alt to extend this bond. Now I create a simple circle, which can be found here. I change the color based on the atom I want to put in the center. So the colors I choose, I actually go off standardized colors, which can be found on the CPK coloring Wikipedia entry. And I use colors in these columns. So which column you use for each atom doesn't really matter as long as you stick to one column for each atom. So you can see J corresponds to the coloring scheme utilized by JMOL software, and it's very robust. But in this case, I would use the color from the R column because I think it looks a lot better. So we find the color we want to use. In this case, we go down to copper, and I like this red. So to get this red color into ChemDraw, sorry, this one, what I do is I take a screenshot of it, and then I open it in Microsoft Paint. I use the color sampler tool. I pick the color and I check the RGB values of this color. You can see here. The red is 166, 41, 33. So I can close this now. I can go back to ChemDraw and I select the circle, and under the colors tab, which may not display by default, if it doesn't appear on your screen, go into view and press other toolbars and go into colors. So I go into the color tab, I press other, I define a custom color, and I input the RGB values, which were 166, 41, 43. So I put the circle in the center. Let me make it a little bit smaller. And now I put my zinc atom in. So I simply do that by using the text, making the atom. Let me just make it white, make it bold, and move it in here. Oops. I don't know what happened there. And voila. So before I end this video, I would like to also show a bonus feature. It's another feature that was introduced in version 20 of ChemDraw, and this feature, if you select a molecule that contains rings, you can right-click it, and there's a new option called Ring Fill Colors, and you can make your figures really stand out with this feature because, as you can see, it just looks very good. So, thank you for watching. If you like this content and you would like me to make similar videos to this, please let me know what you would like me to make, and hope you have a nice day.